welcome to this episode of the Smart Leaders Sell podcast. My name is Jessica Lorimer, sales coach, leadership expert, and I'm kind of fired up, if I'm honest. Kind of fired up about today's topic, which is all about standing and delivering. Okay, what happens after the customer buys from you and why we are so frustrated as consumers about what's actually going on with the sales process nowadays and why we feel like statistics, and how you as a service-based business owner can completely change that and make your sales process and your client care process things that make you seem and make you feel like a leader in your industry for a good thing, for something that isn't controversial, for something that isn't different, but actually standing out, being the expert, and taking care of your clients. It sounds like a real basic, but it's something that people aren't doing. And I've had so many conversations about it in the last couple of weeks that I was like, right, I'm going to nail this episode. And then I was devastated, okay, because I've had this episode in my calendar to do for about a week and a half. And usually it doesn't take me that long to record them, but vanity here. My voice has been going, I've had this stupid cold and the chest infection, and it's been really, really annoying. And I was determined that I wanted to call this episode Stand and Deliver. Now, obviously, there are two reasons. One, because the episode is all about delivering client care, delivering a great sales process, etc., but also because it's an amazing song by Adam and the Ants, and I really wanted to sing it. I really wanted to do the whole stand and deliver piece. But as you can hear, I sound like some kind of dying toad. So actually, it was a little bit miserable, but I've decided that the content is too important to waste, and I should just get over the fact that I can't now sing like 3 verses of that song. Probably a good job, because Adam was obviously a much better singer than I am. But still, if you are joining me on this episode today, then please have a little sing-song for me, because I'm very, very gutted that I can't join in. So this is something that's kind of come to a head, and I've been to a few events recently. I've had a few conversations with people in my community, and I even had a conversation with Scott, who produces this podcast, does all of the sound, makes it sound epic. And we've been talking and having conversations in the industry about how customers are starting to feel like statistics. And it's something that's really concerning me, because what I see as a sales coach, and I get a lot of people who come to me and they say, Jess, I need new customers, I need new clients, new people, new leads, all the time, new, right? But actually, the people who are going to buy from you have a lifetime value. Okay, it's not just that one sale, it's not just that $27 tripwire or that 5K sale. They're going to come back to you if you have a service that's ongoing. They're going to learn more from you and continue working with you. They're going to refer people over to you. And so actually the lifetime value of a customer is a lot more, than that initial purchase that they make from you. So it's really important that we make them feel that. We make customers feel valued. And what we're seeing in the industry right now is that customers just aren't. Clients aren't feeling valued. And what's happening is we're seeing a lot of shiny marketing. People who are like super accessible on social media until you pay them. And then they're nowhere to be seen. We're seeing lots of over-promising and under-delivering. And it's actually really hurting people's long-term business prospects. And that's what I really want to dive into today, how you can make your process different, how you can stand out from the crowd, and ultimately how you can make your customers feel good about referring you, about returning to you, and about, keeping that lifetime relationship with you, regardless of whether it's them buying again or whether it's a friend of theirs buying again, or simply that they're just shouting out about you all over social media. It's really, really important to give your clients some love. So where this starts, I guess, is your sales process. Now, not in terms of the actual process, creating a post, putting it on Facebook, sending out an email, etc., but more around your expectation management when it comes to sales. So how you are setting expectations for the working relationship and how you're managing those to make people understand, to make your future clients understand what that working relationship will look like. So an example of this is, those, and I see a lot of them at the moment. I see a lot of people on the Facebook timeline and they are on there all day long. Okay, I'm an early bird. I like to say early bird. I'm not actually human until I've had coffee, but I wake up early. And so I get up, about 6:30, 7 o'clock, and I kind of trot into the living room because otherwise I wake Sam up and, he doesn't appreciate that. So I walk into the living room, I have like a, cup of tea, decaf at that time in the morning, and I'll scroll. I am guilty of this. I will scroll the newsfeed. Okay, throwing my hands up there, admitting it openly. I'm a Facebook scroller, even when it's early morning. So early in the morning, 6:30, 7 o'clock, I'm on UK time. I'm seeing people and they're already posting. They're already posting about something that's going on that day, something topical, something controversial, a sales pitch or post. And then, mid-morning, I'll have had my coffee, humaned up, ready for the day, and I'll scroll again because, let's face it, cat videos, mid-morning, it's the perfect time. And I'll see, them post something else. And as we go through the day, I'll see these posts. And, I have been that person who's come back late at night from, I was going to say an event to make myself sound sophisticated, but secretly I mean the pub. And I've scrolled through the newsfeed and I've seen these people who've been on social media all day from 6 a.m. and they're posting at 11 p.m. And I'm like, when do you sleep? What's wrong with you? Now, I'm not just ranting about these people. Obviously, I'm slightly jealous because A, I wish I had that much energy. B, I wish I had that much stuff to post on social media or say. And I kind of admire their dedication to hustling. However, I have a very different attitude towards working my business. I've always been a work smarter, not harder kind of girl. And quite frankly, trying to create all of that content all day long and be majorly accessible just doesn't appeal to me. I'm fairly introverted when it comes to people. If I'm trying to spend all day socializing, I find that I don't actually get any work done. Anyone else feel like that? If you do, let me know. I'd like to know it's not just me. But the real problem with that is, it's not about defining or slating hustlers or saying anything about the Facebook terms and conditions of using a Facebook personal profile in a business related way. It's actually about expectation management. If you are somebody who is posting 24/7 on Facebook, you're teaching your prospective buyers two things. One, you are always accessible. You are always on the internet. You are always able to be reached. And actually that can be challenging, right? We'll explore that later, why that can be challenging, because if they think you are available all the time, it can be that they contact you all the time. And it can be also that they get really frustrated when you don't respond immediately. Because as far as they can see, if you're posting on Facebook, right, you're available, you're there, you're ready. The second thing that it can be detrimental to in terms of expectation management is that actually you're teaching your prospective buyers and you're setting the expectation for them that they need to behave like that, right? So if you are in a business coaching role or you're in a kind of business building niche or a marketing niche or a sales niche, anything that involves building your livelihood on social media and teaching others to do the same, it can be really overwhelming for them to think that the only way that they're going to be successful is if they do what you do. Okay. If they have to post on social media 24/7, if they have to work 20 hours out of 24. Now, some people really resonate with that, and that's cool. But it's also not sustainable. You can't do that for years and years and years. And I mean, I say this with the caveat that Gary Vee apparently can. The guy is superhuman. I have no idea how he manages it, but he does, so absolute kudos to him. But for the majority of us, especially people who have families, who are also working 9 to 5s and running their businesses as side hustles, it's just not possible to be that present on social media all the time. And that expectation can be really, really overwhelming, okay? And it can be really detrimental to your prospective buyer when they purchase from you and automatically put themselves under a ton of pressure to implement and execute the content strategy that you have going in your business, okay? Now, the second thing here, while we're talking about expectation management, is shiny sales syndrome, okay? Now, I was talking to somebody about this last night, and we were kind of having a bit of a chat because have you ever seen those coaches? And I do say coaches. This happens in other industries too, but it's very, very prevalent in the coaching world where everybody is Perky Sue, right? Nothing has ever gone wrong because, if you say anything's gone wrong, then suddenly the law of attraction is going to come and beat you with a massive stick. For those of you who are spiritual and listening, that's totally sarcastic. I'm not sure whether you can hear it in my voice, but the law of attraction, I've got time for. I just am not a believer that if you say one thing like, I'm having a shitty day today, that you're then going to only have like 10,000 other shitty days. So what we tend to see is this kind of like Perky Sue attitude to everything online. Okay, now I used to see this as a teenager. And actually I still see it. And I'm 28 now. So I still see this kind of like Perky Sue newsfeed in front of me, right? And I see it from people who I went to school with who are all like, oh, my life's amazing and I'm having all these holidays and it's so great and I got a promotion. And then you meet up for coffee with them and they're like, oh, I had a 10-hour delay at the airport. I wanted to shoot the man at the coffee shop because frankly, he just couldn't put the beans in the roaster quick enough. We all have that. We all have the Facebook life and the actual life. And it's totally okay to share your holiday snaps and to tell everybody when things are going well. When it comes to business, though, it's also nice to be realistic. Okay, so when you are marketing your business on social media, you don't have to say, hey, I'm a 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure, apparently that's now popular, business owner, right? You can actually just be honest and be like, hey, I'm just a really exceptional marketeer. And, I really help people skyrocket their visibility, skyrocket their engagement, and make money from that. It's also cool to say, hey, I'm a health coach. I drink the odd bottle of wine. I eat the odd biscuit. But 90% of the time, I'm drinking my kombucha. I am, mixing up greens in my smoothies. And I'm out there running along the beach. And that's cool too. But people actually buy from humans. And when we're setting up this sales process, if it's too shiny, if everything is always perfect, if there are no pitfalls, again, it can be really, really hard to manage the expectations of your prospective buyers because they think, they're comparing their journey to yours. So it can be difficult because they're like, oh my goodness, this person is perfect. Nothing ever goes wrong for them. They must have been born under a lucky star. And there's no way that I can achieve that because perfection, unattainable. Believe me, I've been trying to look like Kate Moss for years. Sadly, I'm, 5'2", not blonde, and I do have an addiction to Pringles and also hot chocolate. So me and Kate are slightly different size-wise, looks-wise, potentially personality-wise, but I beg to differ. So anyway, it's potentially dangerous for that. And then the other thing is that it's managing their expectations in the wrong way. You know, what you're saying to a prospective buyer when they are looking at your newsfeed and everything is, I've just had an exceptional launch, I've just had an exceptional day, my holiday is great, my relationship is perfect, all these things, it can put a huge amount of pressure on people, okay? And it can make them think that actually setting up a business or changing their lifestyle, you know, in terms of their health, or changing their attitude towards wellness or relationships is easy, because they're comparing their first step to your 10,000th, right? And they're also comparing their real life step to your picture perfect newsfeed one. And that's really difficult as a customer to reconcile yourself with the fact that actually coaches are human too. You know, consultants are human too. We aren't going to be great at everything. There's a reason that I specialize in sales and not technology, mainly because I only have to look at the computer and it breaks. It's why I've recorded, 3 podcast episodes now while my microphone is on mute. But give me a sales process and I can identify holes in that, I don't know, a chap who has a laser beam that specializes in finding holes in things. I think that's possibly my worst analogy on the podcast. I'm sorry. But you see what I mean? It's very much about understanding the difference between airing your dirty laundry, which I never advocate, and actually showing people the reality of running a business and being truly authentic about what challenges they may face, what obstacles they may need to overcome, and how they can do that in a way that inspires and motivates them, and doesn't detract from the fact that actually they really do want to make a change. They want to make a difference. They want to do something incredible. Okay. Now, we are seeing this rise of huge selling. And what I mean by that is what I would call the overpromise. And this is where, we're seeing lots of posts. Everything is the best new product, the best new service. You could not make more money with this if you tried, lose more weight with this if you tried, have the best manifestation mindset with this if you tried, kind of sales pitches. And the majority of people have integrity, right? And the majority of people actually, they have created amazing things. They have created amazing programs. They really, really are committed to customer care, to getting them results. And so they work really hard to go on and make sure that people go through their programs and get the right transformation, or at least the transformation that they're looking for. Unfortunately, we are seeing a rise of this huge oversell at the moment. What that means is seeing these hyped posts all the time that make us want to purchase. But on the back end, as we start to go through the process, actually it lets us down. Okay. Now, this isn't always intentional, but actually as a consumer, it can be really frustrating to look at the Facebook post, look at the emails, get really, really excited about purchasing something, really excited for a program or a service that you feel is going to change your life. And then actually to go through the process and feel like you've been oversold, underdelivered to. Okay. Now, there is a difference, and I will put this caveat in here, because I also know a ton of coaches who are incredible at what they do. And likely, if you're listening to this podcast, you are one of them. You are one of these amazing people who actually has a skill. You actually have experience. You actually have a talent. You are incredibly good at helping your customers get results, but you're maybe not great at tooting your own horn and telling people how amazing you are. Okay. You're kind of like the secret gem, the hidden gem, if you like, of your industry. And people come to you, they get incredible results, but you just don't want to go out and necessarily shout about it because you might be like me, British, therefore stiff upper lip, little bit too modest, and more sarcastic than you ever thought possible. So there are many people out there who genuinely should be putting out posts telling people how amazing they are. They should be emailing their lists and telling them why they need to buy from them right now. You know, they should be comfortable and confident in their area of expertise and sharing that with the world. Due to the rise of some of the inauthentic posts that we see, where we do have this hype and then this under delivery, a lot of really talented coaches, consultants, and service-based business owners are not shouting about how skilled they are because they don't want to be lobbed into that camp. You know, they don't want to be tarred with the brush of inauthentic selling or out of integrity selling. And I think that's a real shame because actually when it comes to delivering to your clients and making sure that you have this great sales process and great commitment to customer care, part of that is selling. It is supporting them. It's letting them know when you genuinely have something that would be massively, massively transformational for them. And so if we're not letting them know, if we're not telling them about it, we're actually doing them a disservice. You know, we're stopping them learning something. We're stopping them working with us. And instead, they end up with somebody who perhaps doesn't have the 100% commitment to client care and results that you have. Okay, so have a think about that. When you're next putting out your pitch on social media, just have a think and be like, oh, actually, do I need to blow my trumpet a little bit here? Because if I do, then now is the time. You know, it's not overselling if you know that you have the potential to change somebody's life or to change their business in some way, shape, or form, or any part of their life. Okay. But you have to tell them. That is your responsibility. It kind of reminds me of that phrase, you know, with great power comes great responsibility. And that's true. If you are somebody who has a skill that you can share with the world, that's a huge power. And your responsibility is to share it with as many people as you possibly can and make a huge impact on the world at the same time as being able to increase your income. Okay? That's my mini lecture over. I'm like, slight tangent, but you know, I feel it was necessary. So once we get past the sales process, because let's face it, right? It's really simple to get new people into the sales process, and we can get new people all day long. But actually, how can we make sure that we're maximizing the revenue that's generated from that one person? i.e., how can we make sure that they come back to us, that they work with us regularly if it's something that we can provide, that they are referring people to us regularly, and that they're not asking for refunds, that they're not feeling disappointed in our services? Because the average person who is unhappy with a service will go and tell 10 other people, right? 10 other people. And then those 10 people will go off and they'll tell people. And before you know it, you have quite a large group of people that have been impacted and that have some kind of negative feeling around your delivery and your client care. And we don't want that, right? We want people to be going away, referring us, telling people how great we are, giving testimonials, all of those good things that will lead to future relationships being built and future revenue coming in. So one of the ways that you can do that is to actually, and again, this does come down to boundaries. I may have to get one of my amazing members of my community is the boundary queen, and I may have to get her on and do an episode about boundaries. If you're listening, then know that you are on my radar to bring on and ask questions about boundaries. But you know, one of the ways to do that is to set these clear boundaries when you are in that client delivery phase. So once you've actually signed that client up, once they've paid you and they've signed their contract and they've gone through your onboarding process, so they've received their welcome pack or they've got their welcome email, and they're, ready to go. Because when somebody's in that stage, when they've signed the contract, when they've paid the money, they're really excited. They're at this kind of point of high motivation, high energy. They're inspired. They're ready to go. We need to ensure that the rest of the process runs like that they continue to feel like that. So I've just mentioned there the onboarding process. This is where it starts. This is where client care starts. Things like having a contract and having boundaries in your contract, i.e., I work Monday to Friday, so I'll always respond to you Monday to Friday, but Saturday and Sunday, I am partying hard on the sofa. On the sofa with the dog. So I won't be responding then. Setting those expectations in a contract is really handy for both the client and for you as a coach, because ultimately it means that they feel safe. Their expectations are managed. They know that you will respond to them. They know what kind of time frame you'll respond to them in. And as a coach, it means that you don't feel guilty for not answering their email when it comes in at 3 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon. Because let's face it, we've all been there, right? We've all heard the ping go on our phone and thought, oh, I need to drop everything and just respond to that. And the reality is that you don't. Because, and this is the second part of this, as coaches and consultants and service-based business owners, our job is not to create codependent clients. And I'm always saying this to my clients. I'm like, look, my job is to ensure that when you go out into the world and you don't have me there, you're happy, confident, able to troubleshoot any issues that you might run into, able to celebrate your successes, and basically manage your business, manage your profit growth easily. And if you want to come back to me in the future and you want to work on something specific, great. Happy to have you, happy to welcome you back into the coaching relationship. But also, your clients need to be independent. They need to be able to be self-motivated. They need to be able to learn independently. And that sometimes does mean that you can't answer every single email as soon as it comes in, or every single Facebook message as soon as it comes in. Now, I get that it's difficult because we, let's face it, live in a society of fairly instantaneous gratification nowadays, right? We have Facebook, we have social media, we have emails, everything's on our smartphones. We can answer everything all the time. But again, going back to what we were talking about at the beginning, that actually puts you under an awful lot of pressure as a business owner, because you're constantly fighting fires for your clients. You're not actually putting your own marketing plans, your own sales plans, your own business growth plans into place. You're firefighting nonstop. It's also really bad for your client, because if we don't encourage independence, if we answer everything immediately, if we do everything straight away, then what can happen is when they finish the coaching, when they finish the consulting period, they don't know what to do. So you might have given them great results during the time you're working with them. You might have given them great information. But actually, in terms of active learning, things are really hard for them. Things are tough because they haven't had to troubleshoot anything. They haven't had to wait for anything. You've been there all the time, and that's great, right? Obviously, if we can respond to clients straight away, fantastic. If we do have that period in time where we're checking our emails and something comes in, absolutely, go for it. Help them immediately. But we also need to help our clients by not responding to everything instantaneously, encouraging them to learn independently, so that when they do go out into the big bad world, if you like, they are able and they feel confident going out and troubleshooting things alone, asking communities for help, finding solutions elsewhere. Now, that can be a little bit scary, because let's face it, everyone worries about this. We kind of think, oh God, if we create independent clients, what happens if they don't need us? And I've had this fear. I'm like, oh God, what if my clients don't need me? And I have some of my clients who are on Voxer, and if I don't hear from them in like a week, I get really twitchy. I'm like, oh God, what are they doing? Are they okay? And so I always reach out every Monday, like check in if I haven't heard from people. I'm like, where are you? What are you doing? But there's a difference between checking in and supporting somebody's learning and making them feel valued as a customer versus being at their beck and call. And being at their beck and call doesn't work. It doesn't work for you. It doesn't work for them. And it doesn't work for the long-term relationship. Okay, because ultimately, if somebody doesn't learn independently and they go away and they find that things aren't working and they're not able to troubleshoot, they're not able to find solutions elsewhere, guess where they're putting that blame? Doesn't matter how great the results that you got them were when you're working with them, if they can't do those basic things afterwards, that's coming right back on you. Okay, so in order to give our clients the best customer experience, it starts with setting the boundary. When are you going to be available to talk to them? How much contact can they expect with you on a regular basis? Will you be checking in or chasing up homework? Or is it their job to make sure that it's finished and returned to you? Personally, when I was running my one-on-one practice, what I used to do was get people to fill out like a little questionnaire before their weekly call. And it would ask what they'd done that week, what they'd achieved that week, what they thought went really well, what they thought didn't go so well, and what they wanted to discuss on the call. And that meant A, I had an idea of what they'd been up to, what work they'd been doing. B, it meant I knew what we'd be discussing on the call, and it would give me some scope to make sure that I had all the information I needed. But also it really helped my clients evaluate their own learning. And so after the call had finished, we'd look at their 3 key takeaways. What did they learn during that session? What were they going to go away and implement? And how did they feel? And that worked really well as kind of an evaluation tool. And again, it set the boundary that actually there were lots of things that they could do without my help, and there were lots of things that I could support them with. It's a good line to have, that kind of line of balance and understanding that there are some things your clients can do for themselves, i.e. Google, and there are some things that they need your support with. Gaining confidence in a certain area, picking up new skills, executing plans and, marketing strategies and things like that. So you really, really do, if you want to provide the best customer service, you really want to help them embrace that independence, set clear boundaries, and help them become self-motivated and inspired individuals who take action, who walk away from every call, take action, and succeed. That's what we want. Now, the next part of this is super simple, but actually massively relevant. And I think this is one of the reasons that a lot of people walk away from specifically one-on-one coaching experiences where they felt like they've been treated a bit like a statistic, or even group programs where they feel like they've paid the money and then they are underwhelmed. And it's about communication. Okay. And I felt like this sometimes. I think everybody has. When we're being sold to, when somebody is mid-launch, they are sending us emails, they're on social media, they are very, very present. Okay. And so they're communicating with us regularly. They're asking us to hit reply. They're asking us to tell us why we're not buying, when we are going to buy. They're trying to get us on the phone. They want to talk to us, actively seeking us out to communicate with us. Sometimes when we purchase, that line of communication goes away. And so when people are buying the programs or the products, or services that we're selling, we have to really look at, is that line of communication still open? Because communication is huge for helping retain clients. It's huge for making them feel valued. If you make sure that your client feels supported, like they can reach out to you and that they have adequate methods for communication, so email, Voxer, regular calls, you're going to have a really happy client. You're going to have somebody who feels safe within the boundary. You're going to have somebody who is excited to talk to you. You're going to have somebody who respects your time and you're going to have somebody who is successful. If, however, you don't keep those lines of communication open with your clients, so i.e. you go through the launch, you're sending out all these emails, you're posting all over social media, and then when they buy, you're just kind of like, oh, hey, great to have you in the program, awesome. And then it's radio silence. You can expect that those people are going to get stuck. They are going to look elsewhere for coaching. They're going to certainly go and make their feelings known to other people about the lack of support that they're receiving. And that could cause you problems in the long run when it comes to referrals, when it comes to missing out on new clients, and when it comes to your reputation. So the understanding is some clients might not want to talk to you all the time. That's cool. I have some clients who are absolutely amazing, but in all honesty, they only really need to check in with me every so often. And that's brilliant. Equally, I have some clients who they want to talk to me every couple of days just to check in, to make sure they're on the right track, run over any sales copy with me, run over any launch plans with me. And that's cool too. Everyone communicates differently, but it is your job and it is your responsibility as the coach, as the consultant, to make sure that lines of communication are open, that you're very clear about how people can communicate with you, what they can expect from your communication style, and to make sure that you're not, and again, I really feel like this comes down to expectation management, that their expectations around when and how you can be reached and how you're going to be responding to them are managed, so that they don't feel like post-launch you've just fallen off the face of the earth. Okay. I think the other thing is, when it comes down to communication, is being present. And I have this a lot, and I actually had an experience a couple of years ago with a coach who was great, but every single call we had, they'd be doing something else. So be emptying the dishwasher or driving the car or doing all these things. And I remember being really frustrated by it, and I also remember being absolutely petrified when I realized they were coaching me in the car, and I was like, no, we have to stop the call. I couldn't be responsible for you plowing into a tree or something. It's really, really important that when you are having dedicated client time, it's dedicated client time. That client feels like they are the only thing on your priority list then and there, because right then they are. They've paid for that time with you. They have paid to have this experience, and it's your job to make sure that they are getting everything that they need, and make sure that you're 100% present to help support them through whatever process that they're currently undertaking. So, communication is a really huge one. And in fact, a lot of this, a lot of what we're covering today, it's not about you being the best salesperson. Okay, it's not about you being the best salesperson. It's about you being the best business owner. It's about you being somebody who's dedicated to your clients. And that is going to help you see way, way more referrals, way, way more retained clients, and way, way less refunds. Okay, so just as a quick recap, if you are somebody who is looking to build a personal business, coaching, consulting, training, anything that's built on a personal brand, it's really, really important that you are able to stand up and sell to your clients, but also to deliver to them and to really hone your customer care skills so that your clients keep coming back. And that is easiest to do when you have a clear sales process that manages expectations and boundaries around how you're going to show up and how you want them to show up. Set the expectation. Don't set tons and tons of pressure for them to be on social media all day, every day. It's also about not being the shiny salesperson. It's about making sure that you aren't consistently Perky Sue. It's not saying that you have to be Debbie Downer either, but it is about making sure that you're realistic about obstacles and challenges and things that they might face along the way. Committing really to delivering what you know that you can actually achieve. And then it's about helping them embrace that independence. getting rid of codependency, helping them learn independently, and making sure that our clients have all the skills and confidence that they need once they leave our coaching to go off and face their business challenges, wealth challenges, health challenges, life challenges on their own, and make it easy for them to do. And then finally, it's about communication. Communication is key, because even if something does go wrong, even if you do have an issue with a client, even if there is some email that's been taken in the wrong way or something that's not quite going to plan, if you have good communication skills, if you're able to keep that channel open for them to be able to come to you with any problems, to be able to talk about any issues that they might be facing, challenges, obstacles, but also to celebrate wins, to reach out and ask questions, to have that safe, supportive space that they know that they have dedicated time with you to help them support them in getting to their goals. That's going to be huge. And all of those things together will make sure that you have clear boundaries, a business that doesn't overwhelm you and doesn't overwhelm your clients, a great sales process. And with that focus on client care, you're going to be able to retain clients, reduce refunds, and increase referrals, making sure that your business is the most profitable it possibly can be, as well as the most recommended out there. I hope you've really enjoyed this episode. If you have, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button or leave a review. Let me know what you think. If you are looking to learn more about sales, please make sure you head over. Join the free Facebook group, the Smart Leaders Sales Society. It's fun. There's lots of tips, tricks, techniques, weekly trainings, all of that kind of good stuff. And the occasional Ryan Gosling meme as well. Everyone loves a Ryan Gosling meme, right? So there you have it. That is this episode, Stand and Deliver, of the Smart Leaders Sales podcast. If you need anything, please reach out. It's jessica@jessicalorimer.com, and I will see you on Friday for another expert coaching session with one of my favorite entrepreneurs on the internet. I'll see you then.